Center for Spiritual Living, where no matter where you are on your spiritual path, no matter how your day is showing up, we affirm that there's a revelation in the next hour, or however long you stick around, because we have chili afterward, that more of the joy that is within you is revealed. More of the peace that is within you is revealed. That you waken up to is how many degrees that you're ready to awaken to your spiritual magnificence more and more. How does that sound?
Great.
Are you ready for that?
Yes.
I am too. And to help you do that, we have wonderful prayers, readings, fantastic music, and we have a wonderful speaker back for after about 2.5 years, Reverend Tracey. They're still doing hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And then to celebrate all of this, we have our wonderful chili cook-off afterward that Michelle and her team have just created. So it's a wonderful Sunday for you to be here. Wonderful Sunday for everyone to be watching online. Thank you to everyone. Let's say hi to Facebook. Hi, Facebook! Hi, Facebook! So let's kick off our service and song if you want to stand up if you'd like. Sing and dance if you'd like.
Early dance.
Yes, yes. Woo.
Anything is possible when you believe. Anything is possible when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe? Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe in yourself? When you believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself. When you believe, gonna make a miracle when you believe. You know you're gonna make a miracle when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. You know everything you want, you got when you believe in yourself. 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 When you believe, I believe in me. I believe in you. When we believe in each other, there ain't nothing we can't
almost Easter. And when I was a kid, I knew Easter was coming not just because of the candy, which, hello, I am a fan, but also I knew Easter was coming because of a more serious reason, because of Lent, or specifically giving something up. If you're familiar with it, it's an old Catholic tradition to prepare for Lent by giving up something you care about. It helps us, the goal is to kind of imitate Jesus being out in the desert fasting. Its goal is to help us to build our inner spiritual discipline and to turn our hearts back to God. So usually we were told, or traditionally told, to give up something whose absence we would feel. Like that there'd be almost like a discomfort, a loss, a pain not to have that. And I can tell you honestly, I didn't do a good job of that. The things I chose to give up were not big, and since we know cause and effect, how big were the spiritual fruits that I reaped? Small. Small. But I'm here in a different place in consciousness. Good morning and welcome. And I would love to revisit that old ritual, that old custom. But I'm not going to ask us to give up something and then feel miserable. How about we all give up something that causes us misery?
Yes.
Not giving up something, not our favorite food, not our favorite thing to do. How about an old wound, an old lack of forgiveness, an old grudge, a belief that doesn't serve us anymore and it's not us anymore? An old version of life, an old way of looking at life that we can let go of and not feel miserable, not feel heavy and dark. Wouldn't that feel great? Wouldn't that be a wonderful way to step into April? And it's easy for people to say, well, gosh, your tradition growing up as a good little Catholic boy, that's sacrifice. This sounds selfish. Ooh, this crowd knows that's not true. This is spiritual work that we're called to do, to consciously work on ourselves. And the good news is, when we do better, when we heal ourselves, we raise everyone up in collective consciousness. That's a mighty gift to the world. So does something come to mind? Listen to that. Listen to your heart. And I know that if it doesn't come to mind now, it sure will in the coming minutes, hours, days. And then to take that into spiritual practice, to say, I am ready to release this belief, this pattern, this behavior, and step into something new and greater. Now you might say, Reverend Darren, it's next week, Easter. Well, here's the good news. We are not stuck within one little time frame. When I was a kid doing this, it was kind of like, okay, muscle through a couple of weeks, hate it, and then when you're done, you just go back to your old behavior. But what's beautiful is with this, is we are stepping into this healing with the consciousness of never going back to that, to never embracing whatever that is that we're letting go of, that we get to be free from that for the big picture. And how quickly can this happen? As quickly as we make the decision. Or can it take a while? That's okay. For us to do the healing on the inside, to do our spiritual work, to allow this release to happen and to reveal who we really are. So we get to be gentle with ourselves. We get to allow that to happen. We get to let it take the time that it does. And I'll think about it. Years to come, to be able to look back at the Easter time to say, that's when I quit believing that about me, or expecting that little bit about me, or carrying that old wound. Easter is when I was resurrected. Easter is when I found my freedom and new life. Wouldn't that be the best way to remember Easter of 2026? Turn within, find that, let it go, and enjoy your life. And so it is. And each Sunday we have a reading from Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our movement. And today's reading is being shared by Miss Judy Gresser.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So by now you may know that this is my favorite book, The Essential Ernest Holmes. So this selection is from Dr. Holmes' Easter message, and it's entitled, "You Are Immortal." That's from the Science of Mind magazine, April 1952. This month we celebrate the most memorable event in human history, the day when the light of eternal life penetrated the tomb and set the captive free from the thraldom of death. For he is not dead, he is risen. All of us have had friends and loved ones during the year that have left this world, and something of us has gone with them. Jesus said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you." And St. Paul said, "There are celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. So also is the resurrection of the dead. The body is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body." There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. The great hope and expectation of all of us is that we shall live forever. That which makes us alive, awake, and aware shall continue beyond the grave. When the disciples of Jesus asked him, "What is God's relationship to the dead?" he answered by saying, "He is not a God of the dead, but of the living. For all live unto him." In other words, Jesus was saying, God is life, and life cannot produce death. God is love, and love cannot create hate. God is peace and joy, and God is right where you are. Not only in this world, but in another world, which was as real to him as this one is to us. As wonderful as were the words and works of Jesus, the miracles of love and compassion, which he performed, the climax of his whole mission was plainly taught that the kingdom of God is at hand, here and now. That divine love can protect us here and now. That divine guidance can lead us here and now. He also taught that which we really are, the Spirit incarnated within us, is some part of God and will live forever. His teaching would have been incomplete unless this were true. It would have been merely a wonderful code of ethics, morality, a high example of what every human being ought to be. But there was so much more to it than this. It was the final triumph of the Spirit which he demonstrated, the complete emancipation of man from the limitations of the flesh. Jesus was not talking of himself alone. Perhaps the real reason why he raised Lazarus from the dead, to be followed by his own triumph, was to show that all men are immortal, not just some men because of their particular belief, but all men. This is why he said to the thief who died with him, "Today shalt thou be with me in paradise." Immortality means that you and I shall not only continue to live after this life, but that we shall continue to be the same individuals that we are now, retaining everything that makes for the warmth and the color of what we call the human personality. And that means that we shall carry our entire consciousness with us, the ability to know and to be known, to see and to be seen, to commune with each other. This is why Jesus showed himself to so many persons after he left the tomb forever behind him. And I wonder if sometimes we haven't been just a little too morbid about the thought of death. To Jesus, it was the triumphant procession of the soul, the ongoing of the spirit, the expansion of the mind. He knew that this is not only the only life. or the only world. And so it is.
And so it is.
We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that people of all faiths and lifestyles, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And now, as Patty lights the healing candle, please say silently, out loud, or put in Facebook comments the names of those you would like to hold in the healing flame of God's eternal love. Knowing all the names that we give God, the Creator, the one mind, promise, compassion, life, life being the most powerful. I know that I am one with this life, a co-creator with God, as are each of you and every being on the planet. I know that the same is true for each and every soul that has been raised into the light this morning. And that the energy of this love that we are sending with this message will reach them. That healing is theirs. It is their birthright. And we're grateful, so grateful for this teaching and for this center and for each other and our connectedness. And as we release these words into the law of good that always says yes, we say together,
And so it is.
This is a song that our Dana man wrote. And Sandy and I put it to music. We hope you all like it.
I see God in every face. I see God in every place. I see God in
was humble if we liked it. I think that was a home run. And Lynn, good job. Beautiful. Beautiful. And many of you may know that when I was in ministerial school, I got to know a lot of prospective ministers from around the country, and I learned that not all of them had a place to speak on Sundays. Well, how can you be a minister if you don't have a pulpit that says, hey, we want to hear from you? So this center was like a nursery, a place to, which is wonderful. Even our sister center in Encinitas, California, where we went to ministerial school, used to be a nursery. So I thought that's pretty cool, where they would grow flowers and grow bulbs and stuff like that. But how wonderful that this center has a tradition of being that place where we want to hear the voice of someone aspiring to become a minister, and that we were a huge part in investing in all of these future ministers. And Reverend Tracey was one of them who came here, found her voice here, became part of our family here, and now, of course, as a minister, and has been for a while. And it's been 2.5 years since she stood at this pulpit. So it's wonderful to have her back on Sunday. For everyone who's heard her speak before, you know you're in for a good time. For everyone here for the first time to hear her, buckle up. It's going to be fun. All right. Hugs.
All right. Oh, let's take a collective breath. I want to look at all of you. So, yes, you're in for a good time and a little ADD dyslexia moment, but doesn't she look great? She looks so good. I was, when you see a picture, you're like, oh, I remember, where did those earrings go? So those of you who don't know me, my name is Reverend Tracey, and I am 60. We adopted our great-grandchildren, so I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they keep me going. So a lot of the things that I talk about are, or that are humorous, are around, you don't need an enemy if you have a toddler out. You don't. Because you hear it all day long. Not you. You're not my mom. I'm not your mom. Go away. Don't touch me. And then, I love you, Mommy. You're a princess. And I'm like, so I think it's God's joke that He created me to collect children, people, this has just been pets who have been through my whole life. So a little bit about me. So Luke and Esty and my husband Bill, who typically come, but since we don't have a kids program, I did not want to have you endure, where's my tablet? But they are lovely, and hopefully you'll get to meet them, because I plan on coming back, Darren. So, I love when spirits, Darren didn't ask me what I was speaking about, but I just love to watch the unfoldment of spirit through music and the speaking and what Darren said, and I was like, oh, there you go again. I want to start with this. I've heard this recently from a teacher that I'm studying with, and it has become one of the best ways for me to explain the divine emanation of spirit. And it's really wrapped around something we've all heard, but it was just when you change an understanding of something, your whole world opens. Mm-hmm. So what I really believe God to be is a great understanding. When our beliefs shift, our understanding shift, and something opens up, it's like that grand aha. To me, that's God, that grand aha. But what Catherine says is, if you look at the divine essence, or God, whatever's comfortable for you to call it, and you look at the ocean collectively, everything is in the ocean, right? We have coral, fish. I mean, there are things down there, ships, hidden treasure, everything. There are things that we don't know about. There's depths that we haven't gone. There, it is the great mystery. And when the waves come up, they come up in different forms, right? They come up, one comes up high with a crest, one's low, one kind of scoots along, you have the surfers riding along them, and each individual wave is an emanation of spirit that goes back to spirit, right? So each wave goes up from the ocean and it goes back into the ocean. It's never left, it was never separate from, it was just an emanation of. And so I love that. It brings me great amount of peace to know that I'm an emanation of spirit. Some cosmic joke of this thing that we're all trying to get to know goes, hey, I've created a divine play in consciousness, and I'm putting you in as Tracey. And then, you come, because the other thing that Catherine says is if you were a little alien and you came down and you want to be like everybody else, I say came down, come through, whatever, and you put the suit on, you would be in observation mode. You would be observing everything. You would think everything was interesting. You'd have the curiosity of a child, which a lot of the great teachings say. You would, and then one day someone says, "What's your name?" And of course this little thing inside a bodysuit says, Bob. So he decides his name is Bob, or somebody names it Bob, and then Bob goes, traversing the planet, looking for all the fun things, all the different experiences, all the different things that happen to it, that happen from it, and it becomes Bob. And then suddenly, another visitor comes, and they seek out their friend, and they're looking at their friend, and they're like, "Hey, you're not Bob." And the friend says, "Yeah, I am. I'm Bob. I'm Bob." And he's like, "No, you forgot who you are. You forgot that you're this." And the little alien inside this human form says, No. I'm Bob. I'm 60 years old. I've been on this planet. I've been to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I've seen all the great mysteries of the world. I'm Bob." And this new little alien that comes is trying to discuss with it what it actually is, and it has forgotten. So as we come into the emanation of spirit and we traverse our lives and we endure great amounts of suffering, not without joy, but joy doesn't really most often get us to seek God. What gets us to seek God, or our true self, or our true nature, other than Bob, is suffering. And we come to a point in the planet, in this divine play of consciousness, where we want to know who we truly are. That's what I'm about. That's who I am as a minister. That's what I like to bring through my teaching is, hey, take off the bodysuit, not literally, please don't do that literally. All right, but drop the pretense, drop the personality, start to use the personality, your identity, instead of it using your emanation. Your emanation is your highest and true self. And it's here in the great play of consciousness to have a good time. And when it gets lost and somebody names you Tracey, and you start to believe you're Tracey, and you start to experience as Tracey, you start to hurt as Tracey, all of those are sacred things. But the ultimate reality is you are not Tracey. Well, you are literally not Tracey, but I am not Tracey, and you are not who you say you are. There is a divine essence, a divine emanation of spirit. And we have spent so long objectively looking at our thoughts, our feelings, using our senses, feeling a way around the world. That has become so real to us. And the truth and the revealing of our, the revealing of reality that we do not have to suffer is to start to recognize that you are not your body, mind, you are not your personality. You have those as a divine play in consciousness, and like all of the readings today and Darren's 5 minutes, you get to write your own story, and we have forgotten that we are the author of our own story. And when life is happening to us, it really does not feel like we're the author of our own story, but you are. And the journey home is to learn that and to then begin to play. So, accepting what is without excusing what was. So in this play of consciousness, I don't know about you, but I've had a very full life of doing a lot of stupid things. A lot. And my teacher that I have, Tom, told me this story once when he was helping me to see that there's no mistake that you have to kick yourself about ever, other than the one that you're choosing to kick yourself about. Told me the story of there's a mechanic and two customers in a car, 2 cars. The first customer comes in, brings the car, the mechanic's like, hey, what would you like? The customer's like, here's the keys, it's got a knocking, take it, do whatever you want, send me the bill, we're good. Mechanic's like, great, thank you, you know what you want. The second person comes in and says, oh my God, my car is broken, I hate this car, like fix it, please don't give me a big bill, I don't have any money, life sucks, what are we gonna do? And the mechanic's like, I'll let you know. So his question to me was, who's the mechanic? What is customer one? What is customer two? What's their outlook on life? And what I found about this crazy, it's ended up being a parable really, is that there are so many levels to this simple story that I could take that story through anything that I was going through, and it had different meanings, much like a parable does. Recently, I have discovered about myself, maybe some of you can identify the people pleaser. People pleasers attract controllers. And they work, their energy works off of one another. And people pleasers, for me, I was looking to be understood. People that are looking to be understood talk a lot. That's why I'm in the right profession. So they talk a lot. And my 4-year-old reminds me, Mommy, shh, take a breakfast. Take a breakfast, Mommy. Shh, shh. Take a breakfast. The remote is mine, Mommy. And so I'm like, no, Luke, I'm trying to have a discussion with you about, and he's like, no, Mommy, no discussion. We're watching a movie. So what I found about my nature is seeking to be understood creates over-talking, defending, justifying, and as soon as I would have a conversation with you and I went into this conversation looking for connection, if you are looking to be understood, connection comes second but should always come first. Connection comes when you notice your patterns or your habits or your safety preservation strategies that you have learned to deploy through life to stay safe. Staying safe is from a belief system is from a pattern is from what perceived abuse or maybe abuse. I am not saying that we live on a planet where things do not happen to our body minds. We cannot always prevent things happening to our body minds, but what we can do is start to look at how we meet them and figure out the dynamic of our own personality through this wonderful teaching that we have. It starts to tear apart the pattern, the concepts that we've taken on to be true. And Ernest Holmes says that we are not bound by our past experience unless we choose to be. So when I started seeing these patterns replay over and over again in my relationships, with my children, now I have a 42-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 37-year-old, and forgive me, Sean, maybe 30 something. And then I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. God's big joke, right? And when my kids come over and they're watching me parent these, and they're like, "You didn't do that with us. You didn't do that with us." Or sometimes they'll go, "I have to leave. I'm feeling triggered." So that's when my oldest boy is like, I'm leaving, and I'm like, "Why are you leaving? You just got here." So I'm triggered. I can't watch this chaos. And I was like, well, welcome to chaos. You're a part of it. So what I really wanted to convey to you today is accepting what is without excusing what was. I have a hard time when people say, accept yourself. If I have shame around something that I've done, or I felt like I could have done it differently or better, I kick the car. I am that customer that's like, dang car, what are you doing? You're always breaking down, you're always screwing up, you're always messing up. And then you come into this wonderful philosophy and someone says, oh honey, just accept yourself. And then you go home going, I accept myself, I accept myself. I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna treat, I accept myself, I accept myself. But it doesn't really happen that way, because for me, I need to know why. I am a why person. I have to understand about my own nature, because something inside of me is like, you're going to get yourself into trouble again if you don't figure this out. If you don't have that aha, which really kind of evolved into me becoming a minister. And somewhere along the way, so the misunderstanding is that this, forgive me, let me step back for a second. So accepting what is and accepting yourself, there's a misunderstanding that quietly shapes our lives. When you hear accept yourself, and somewhere along the way, this gets translated, maybe you can identify with, let yourself off the hook. Don't look too closely. It's all fine. Those are all protection mechanisms. It's not acceptance really, but it is the way that we kind of hide from something that we feel bad about. And it's avoidance really, and avoidance doesn't free anybody. And it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, you don't have to judge yourself, it's just a pattern. Avoidance doesn't free anybody. So the core distinction between acceptance and forgiveness, we're going to enter into forgiveness here, are not the same thing. Acceptance says that this is what is here. Forgiveness says, I release the weight of what has happened. And if you skip acceptance, true acceptance through reality, forgiveness becomes a performance. And for me, seeking understanding, if I entered into a conversation and I have a very dysregulated nervous system, so I was always looking to be understood first. And then if I'm very good at like reading your body language just from the way I was raised, you read the room, you feel safe. And so I could see that most recently, that I was looking to be understood, and then there's this understanding, we have this agreement. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, we have this agreement, we're good, no more discord. And then next week, the same thing was happening again. And I was like, wait, we understood each other. You left that, I was feeling safe, you said you felt good, we left. How did we get back here again? The step missed is when you're looking at yourself and you're accepting yourself, you have to look at your pattern of the operation that you're deploying. You have to really tear apart your patterns. And it was such a revelation to me to see that connection cannot be in this seeking to be understood, because what it does is there's no boundaries. You're saying, take me for who I am, what I am, and how I am, and I'm going to take you for who you are and how you are and what you are, and then you collect people. So when I was in banking, I collected the people that were about to be fired, the people that felt misunderstood, the people that wanted to be understood, and I collected this rowdy group of people, and was always so wondering why it all went wrong in the end. And these rowdy people ultimately, they either left because it didn't work, or they, I would say, turned against you, but their behaviors continued, because I was looking to find my own sense of understanding through people who felt misunderstood. And I like to collect them. It made me feel kind of really good about myself to love somebody so much that felt outcast. But the thing is if you don't love yourself, you're seeking to love and understand through other people. But if you don't have that from yourself, you're going to repeat this crazy pattern again. And your life just goes like this, like this, like this. And there's no boundaries in that lifestyle. And so one of the things that I recognized recently is seeking to be understood changes when you look for connection first and allow that person's demonstration of who they are to be what it is, and that you have the boundary and you can say it, right? So if somebody's coming to you and there's a pattern of misbehavior or discord or even love, you get to be who you are authentically by recognizing the deployment strategy that you are deploying to always feel safe. And when that dissolved in me, my relationships with other people got better, but mostly the relationship with me. It opened up an avenue for me to say, acceptance is not approval. Acceptance is not agreement. Acceptance is not saying what happened was okay. Acceptance is simply seeing clearly what is true without turning away from yourself. That what is outside of you is a demonstration of what you feel inside of you. Right? That this divine cosmic play is your creation. So whoever shows up, not good, bad, right, or wrong, is a demonstration of your creation of what you need to come in alignment with for yourself. And then the players change. They go away, or radical acceptance happens. And Ernest Holmes really taught us this. I'm sorry I'm not using the microphone. I'm a wanderer. So I apologize. I am also loud, so hopefully that makes up for it. But why does all of this matter? Well, if you don't accept what is, you repeat it. And where my lessons have a tendency to show up are in my work life. I mean, they do show up in my family life, but I probably ignore those more than anything else. We have a tendency to ignore what's closest to us. But for me, in this game called life, a lot of my patterns showed up because I was looking for acceptance through what I found, what I thought my identity was. If it was, because I was in banking for 30 years, so it was a manager, right? And when that was gone, I was lost. And then when it became a minister, well, I've had my ups and downs in ministry as well. And what I recognize is wherever you go, you take you with you. So if you don't start to understand you and know what you want, the suffering loop is that you're just creating from the same belief system, and it has to be disrupted. And it's disrupted through looking at your patterns, your reactions, your impact that you have on yourself and others. So it's not what the story's about. It's not the justification. It's not the fact of it. Where we get stuck, and where we get stuck is in two places. One, we excuse ourselves. I was triggered. That's just how I am. They made me do it. But that's not acceptance, that's protection. Again, I really want you to hear, it's not good or bad, there's no judgment. We just learn how to stay safe. And if we want to be free from suffering, if we want to open up to the beauty of life, if we want to be liberated, we have to look at how we have created, our nervous system has created these ways for us to protect ourselves. The second way is we condemn ourselves. We kick the car. That's my new thing. My friends are saying to me is like, Tracey, are you kicking the car? You know, like if I'm a person, I have kids, sometimes I yell. And, you know, and then Luke yells, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm teaching him to yell. And then he's like, no, and I'm like, don't yell. And he's like, no, and I'm like, oh, I'm yelling at him, he's yelling at me. And, you know, this is kind of this thing that goes around. And then I go in my room, I take my breath, and I go, oh my God, killing my kid, destroying him. And I've had experience at raising 4 kids. So now I have 2 more. I have had experience as a manager for many years. I had a center. But the reality is that we're deploying all of these activities. And we have to look at ourselves in the way we hide from the ultimate reality and the truth of things. So how do I condemn myself? You know, sometimes I'll go, I'm terrible, I'm always mess things up, I should be better, kind of that victim mentality. But that's not acceptance either. That's identity, and they both miss the point. Ernest Holmes says the truth is that we're always creating, and what we create, we must experience. So for me personally, what I can share with you is, I had a victim, 6 years I've been studying with my teacher, and 6 more years for my teacher that passed before that. And I'm a hard study, so God really loves me. I have like 5 teachers because I'm kind of stubborn. And but one of the things that I really had to slow down and look at and really decide if I wanted to do the work was to observe myself and my behaviors and my own self-acceptance. Mm-hmm. And that when I'm not doing that, it looks like someone's doing something to me. And when I am doing it, I have to stop kicking the car and go, it's okay, Tracey. You're a person. You're an emanation of spirit. You're in this divine play of consciousness. People always haven't been kind to you. You haven't always been kind to people. And you have to open up to the broader ways that you are moving through the world to protect yourself instead of to see reality as it is. And it's scary. And you have to be authentic. And your mind then kicks in and goes, oh, if you do that, they're going to take advantage of you. Oh, if you do this, or if you do that. And you know what? You make mistakes. And you can either kick the car about making the mistakes, or you can take it to the great mechanic and let them give the keys, surrender. Let them share the teaching with you. And then you got to do the work and look at yourself and how you move through the world so you can start being kinder to yourself. And then that transmission and emanation comes through the kindness that you show yourself. You have to stop kicking the car. Why this matter, practical truth, is if you don't accept what is, you repeat it. If you don't forgive what was, you carry it. That's the loop that people live in over and over. But in closing, what I want you to know, this isn't about becoming a better person. For 2 years, I really talked a lot about, and I realized because I was trying to be a better person, I was like, a lot of my talks were phrased around being a better person, and I didn't even realize I was doing that. I had to not kick the car and go, it's just what it was, Tracey. You did the best that you could. It's not about becoming a better person. It's about becoming an honest one. Acceptance, accept what is without distortion, without your own distortion. Forgive what was without denial. And in that, you stop fighting yourself and you stop carrying yourself in a way that doesn't allow you to create the life that you want. So, final question for you. What in your life are you either excusing or condemning? And is it simply asking to be clearly seen so that it can just go through you into the light of day? And then you can be kind to yourself. My minister friend, Reverend Sue, says, good, Tracy, you did it. And especially when I call her and I'm like, and she's like, good, Tracy, you did the best you could today. What deployments did you make today? What did you see about yourself? And how are you trying to stay safe? And it can be a very interesting game to play with yourself. But if you take it to the great mechanic and you hand him the keys and you lay it all down and then you come back to it, you'll see that we're always doing the best that we can with what we have and how we do it. And it's just our job to decide if we want to do it differently. And if you don't, that's fine. Play the game you're playing. And if you do want a different life, then go see the great mechanic and lay it down. And allow life to show you that it's always for you. It has always been for you. It will always be for you. So it is. See that in prayer really quickly, if we might. I'll go to the microphone. I told you I'm a wonder. I just know right here, right now, there is one divine spirit, essence, love, God, whatever it is you call it, is perfectly fine. And we are all great emanations of that divine love. We are part of the divine play in consciousness. I recently saw this sign that said, silence, please, divine consciousness, divine play in consciousness. And I thought, how beautiful that is. That if we could truly recognize that everything that we picked up as a pattern or a condition in our life we can put back down. We can hand everything over to the mechanic and allow life to unfold in a bright new way. We can enjoy what's in front of us and see the reality of it, as it. We can see our choices so much more clearly when the chaos is put to bed. When the discordant fact is revealed, a bright new understanding of God is shown to us, so that we may move in a freer way within these body minds, that we may truly become all that we desire to be, and that there is truly no one stopping us. There is only support for us. And as we lay down the keys, we recognize this truth, this one love, this essence of spirit that is all that we are, that we move freely in it, that its nature is the luminosity of spirit, that's how powerful you are. That's how powerful I am. That there is no thing that can really come against it, that it is all created in mind. And mind, as we lay it down, reveals the S of the self. Your true emanation and divine nature is always first and foremost and prevalent for you. I just call that anything unlike it is removed. Any obstacle is seen and revealed and healed, and it is touched by the nature of your heart. Steadfast in your spiritual journey to know yourself and make self-forgiveness and self-love the utmost priority. That there lies the secret to the revealing of true reality. You are love. You have always been love, and you will always be love. I release this into the law, knowing it cannot return void, for we are truly the creators of our life, and today we have created something new, and so it is.
And so it is.
Reverend Tracey and for our music player. Thank you for feeding us beautifully. And now it's our opportunity to feed our center, to support this beautiful idea that is Yuma Center for Spiritual Living, that is so much more than a building, than an organization, than bigger than Sunday, but this idea, this consciousness in Yuma, this mission to help people awaken to their spiritual magnificence, to see their wholeness, to see their beauty on the inside, and then have a newer, brighter, and better life. So that's what we're doing. That's what you're supporting, and thank you. And so let's take our way of offering, and let's say this. Let's know this, not just for our offering, but in our relationship to having all of our needs met by saying our affirmative giving blessing together.
The divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I do believe, I will receive,
I will receive.
I just have to know,
I just have to know, and then declare it to be so.
with an open mind,
With an open mind,
just a little bit of time.
and just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine.
I do believe,
I do believe,
I will receive,
I will
I
receive.
just have to know,
I just have to know, and then declare it to be so.
with an open mind,
With an open mind,
just a little bit of time.
just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, then it is mine.
Thank you.
I love that song.
Isn't that a beautiful song? And when we do the practice that Reverend Tracey guides us on, to love ourselves, to be easy with ourselves, to know who we really are, boy, that good flows to us and through us, to us and from us in beautiful ways.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you for all of your gifts. Thank you for everyone watching online. You can go to YCSL.com and give a gift safely, securely, and conveniently. Yay for technology, which is wonderful. And can you smell the chili? You know it's coming for announcements. What's our first announcement? Oh, it's the chili cook-off. There are so many different varieties out there. Can you smell it? It smells so good. Does Michelle have anything she wants to say? Because Michelle, our kitchen goddess, has prizes for the competition. This isn't just some nice meal. This is a serious competition, and we're going to have some cooking champions who will be honored at the end, and you all get to be the judges. So it's blind tasting. I guess there's like little cups and there'll be little numbers on it. There'll be a whole system, and she'll explain that. So it's going to be delicious. Thank you, and it'll be all out there after the service.
There she is.
There she is. Anything you'd like to say, Miss Michelle?
Oh.
Want to come forward?
You have my tongs.
Ooh. Let's give her a round of applause.
So far, I didn't hear.
Delicious chili, and they're the judges. And
Okay.
they've got prizes.
Yes, you have first, second, and third prize. Before you start tasting, before you start going through the line, we need to set up our tables out here.
Okay.
I'm gonna put cornbread on the table so you guys can serve the tables there, okay? That way we have enough of everything ready for you to go through the line smoothly, because it's gonna kind of be not an easy flow. But there should be one little taster cup for each chili. They're numbered, so watch your numbers. And then I'm gonna put the cards to vote for and pens out here. There's a box. You just put your card in your box, or in the box, your vote. And then hopefully we can get everything voted for quickly so I can count them before everyone leaves. Because last time everybody left except for the chili cookers. And I want to make sure that everybody knows who won.
Yeah. To cheer for them.
Uh-huh. And
Won last year.
Is there any questions? All right, so if you can give us a few minutes and help set up the tables, then we'll be good to go.
Wonderful, thank you, Michelle. And how much does New Thought musician, national touring artist Jessie Powers love Yuma? So much she's bringing her tour back to town. And not you guys. I mean, she is in demand. She left here and went to centers in Beverly Hills and Hollywood. She was doing Agape with Michael Beckwith, one of the biggest spiritual centers in North America, in anywhere, anything like us. She's huge and in demand. And when the idea was given to her, hey, do you want to come back to Yuma? She said yes. So she's going to be doing a backyard concert on Friday, April 3rd. Now it's going to be at Patty's house. So if you need the directions, please ask Miss Patty, want to raise your hand? Patty's, oh yeah, please.
Last year's winner.
And it's her generosity making this happen. So let's give Patty some love.
It's interesting today that the meditation was talking about you leave all your problems in the bucket. And then when your 5 minutes was like, oh, let's put all those things in the bucket. Really. And so I just wanted to turn it around, like bring an empty bucket because it'll be filled up. Like she's so good. I can't even explain to you how. So I guess seriously. So Ellie and I just random thought, asked her to come back, and she said yes. That being said, it is at my house.
Thank you for asking.
No, yeah, and we're just so excited. It just worked out. But it is at my house, so it's on a street, and there's going to be horrible parking and all that stuff. But I say drop whoever off, and then go park and come back if people are having struggle. Be respectful of people like Dana or whoever who need to be close. But bring a chair. You got to bring a chair because you need to be able to sit and enjoy the thing. I have concessions. Anna's got a whole thing going. So please come. Tell a friend. Everybody's welcome. Everybody, even though it's a private house, everybody's welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Maybe carpooling from the center might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That way, just fewer cars. So we want to have Patty's neighbors continue to love her.
I've had a bunch of people there before, and you just have to walk.
It's a lot. And we're expecting a lot. Her backyard can hold like about 100 people. And so it is open to people. We just want it to be us and our friends so that we get to choose we get to curate who shows up for that concert. And what Patty's saying is so true. Jessie's not an entertainer.
Yeah.
She is a musical minister and filling your heart. You will leave with your spiritual tank full. And mind-blowing from that one time that she's been here. So now when she has this next experience, she's going to be one of us, and maybe she'll move here. Who knows? Who knows? Yes. We all have done bigger things like that before. And if you have the admission is going to be a gift to her, to support her. Musicians need and deserve that support. And then the concession stand will be a fundraiser for the center. So if you have any ideas for anything you'd like to donate, please see Miss Anna. She's seeing that. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that.
Ooh, one more thing.
Yes.
Sorry, I recommend you bring cash. You don't have to. We can work it out. But cash is better. And
Cash is king.
Yeah. Just 'cause it's
Cash
easier.
in one hand and your chair in the other.
Right.
So you have somewhere to sit. Otherwise, cause and effect, you're going to be standing. Eddie, thank you. Awesome. And Signs of Mind magazine. This is the magazine that Ernest Holmes started almost 100 years ago. And it's about to celebrate its 100th anniversary. Which is amazing, because people always say, oh, you're that new age people, right? That new stuff. I'm like, that is an old magazine inspired by ancient beliefs. That stuff has a long shelf life. So Signs of Mind magazine, this is just a little encouragement. We're going to have some handouts to be able to go to the website or to go have a QR code to subscribe, because they're having a goal of 1,000 new subscribers in 2026 to celebrate 100 years. This is a powerful magazine. It's sold at Barnes & Noble, which I love seeing that. And we have lots of people in town who receive it. And sometimes they don't even know that we have a center here that celebrates everything in there. So please get a subscription. It's wonderful between Sundays to get that spiritual feeding, those wonderful articles and columns, and there are daily readings. Those are fantastic. So let's support Signs of Mind magazine. What's our next spin? Oh, that was it. The next speaker will be myself doing a Reverend Darren, Ask Reverend Darren session, so bring your questions. And then the speaker after that is going to be Reverend Michael Kearney. He is a retired minister from Palm Springs. He's a pretty, if he's listening, maybe he's not listening, very high profile. And I love that he wanted to come here and to speak, so that'll be in 2 Sundays, Reverend Michael Kearney, and that'll be perfect because that will be our second Sunday lunch Sunday. So we'll go out to lunch with them. And we'll make a good impression on them, and they'll come back, as they always do. That first time is, I invite them, the second time they come back, see all of you. So thank you to everyone who's here. Thank you to everyone who's here for the first time. I'd love to meet you. I'd love for you to stay and meet everybody and to know these beautiful people. Because this is Yuma Center for Spiritual Living, sitting in these seats. Beautiful people who are working on loving themselves and do a really good job of loving us, loving each other. So let's celebrate that, and let's end our service in song by standing up, making a big circle. We sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, which is really the hymn of our movement. Anyone here for the first time? The words are up on the screen. The witches say please, something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
Something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
I know it.
I know
I
it.
believe it.
I believe
I
it.
feel it.
I feel
I
it.